Hey everyone, this is Brendan Quinn here alongside Michigan football beat writer Nick Baumgardner on the day that Michigan President Mark Schlissel has announced Dave Brandon's resignation as athletic director at the University of Michigan. Nick, now Jim Hackett, named as interim AD, but overall, where do you think that this process is going in terms of timeline, in terms of getting someone in here permanently?
Well, I think that Schlissel throughout this whole thing has said multiple times he wants to be deliberate and he wants to take his time with this. I think this actually is about the perfect situation they could have. He's hired an interim AD basically with the idea of finding a new one. Yeah. So the idea that Jim Hackett's here to become the new AD, I don't think that's necessarily what's going on here. I think that he's been brought in to help Mark Schlissel identify an actual athletic director candidate. As far as the timeline goes, I still think that your timeline means that you will want to have this done by the end of the season. It's just going to depend. Jim Hackett's obviously going to have the ability with Schlissel to evaluate Brady Hope in the program, but I think that given their evaluations of that, I think when they dive into that and really look at football, that's what will determine their time.
I think more than anything, it's given the biggest seat in the athletic department a chance to just kind of get settled. Maybe not with Hackett; he's not the permanent athletic director, but just to get some kind of stability into that office and get Dave Brandon out and get that conversation moved on. And now they have a couple weeks here.
They do
to figure out football, and then if the decision's made on Brady Hope the minute the season ends, well, at least there's some kind of leadership in place where it's not, what are you doing with the AD and what are you doing with the football?
Right, and that's why this had to happen, and we've said this multiple times. It had to happen sooner than later. You couldn't drag this out until the end of the season. You couldn't drag it out until December. That wasn't going to work because you have two eggs kind of you're hanging on to here. And by doing this now, yes, it gets Dave Brandon away from this place, and that had become beyond toxic. I really don't care what anyone comes out and states their support for him. That's fine. It was toxic. It was a mess. It was time for that to end. Schlissel said Dave Brandon went to him on Wednesday and they began to discuss his resignation. Schlissel accepted it Friday morning. So that needed to happen.
Yeah.
Point blank period. It needed to happen, and Dave Brandon needed to also sort of accept that. It didn't need to be something where he hung on for dear life and said, "You're going to fire me, by God, I'm not going to quit." So I think that was handled properly. But at the end of the day, it's still a little interesting and it's a little tricky because you do have a football program that you have to evaluate, and ultimately that is the biggest reason why he's gone.
Last one. What was your takeaway? I was pretty impressed by President Schlissel and just his handling and his answers and everything like that. But today, what's kind of your takeaway in terms of how he views athletics at this point? After, like he mentioned, he's been here 110 days and it's just been a hellstorm since he walked in.
He walked into a volcano, and I think he's still trying to. I think he's beyond the point of trying to find shelter. I think he's gotten his footing down. I think he understands what to do here. He listens to his regents, who are very skilled in all of this. They know what's going on. The move they made today to do this, get it over with, get it done with, get a new guy in here to help him find a new AD. That's the way it's been. I thought he was impressive at the Regent meeting. I thought he was impressive in today. Sounds like he knows what he's doing.
Yep. All right. Well, that's it for today here from the University of Michigan. For Nick, I'm Brendan. Thanks for watching.